Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered if it could secretly be a key to unimaginable fortune? What if I told you that hiding in plain sight, in the drawers, in the old collections of your parents or grandparents, there could be a coin so rare, so astonishingly valuable, that it could change your life forever? Today, on Rare U.S. Coins Worth Secrets, I'm going to reveal 6 of the most ultra-rare and shockingly valuable Mercury dimes in existence. These are not ordinary coins. These are treasures forged in the fires of history, carrying not only silver in their composition, but also a wealth of stories, mysteries, and hidden power that collectors fight for in today's auction houses. Stay with me because as I reveal each coin, the suspense will build. The rarity, the beauty, the historical weight behind these dimes will leave you breathless. And when I finally unveil their current auction values, you will realize why these coins are not just metal, not just currency, but a treasure chest disguised in plain sight. Let's dive in and prepare yourself, because what you're about to see will shock you, excite you, and perhaps even send you searching through your own change jar tonight. Coin number 1, 1943 Mercury dime with S mint mark. Very fine condition. The year was 1943. The world was engulfed in World War II. America was in full wartime production, and every ounce of silver, copper, and steel was vital to the nation's survival. Yet in the midst of this chaos, the San Francisco Mint struck a series of Mercury dimes that would go on to become one of the most enigmatic treasures in the United States. Coin history. This is the 1943 Mercury dime with the S mint mark, a coin born in the city of San Francisco, a city of gold rush legends, earthquakes, and the Western gateway to dreams. Designed by Adolph A. Weinman, this dime is more than just silver. It is a masterpiece of artistry. On the obverse, we see the stunning portrait of Lady Liberty wearing her winged Phrygian cap. This design is often mistaken for the Roman god Mercury, which is how the coin got its popular nickname, the Mercury dime. But in truth, this coin was meant to embody liberty itself, freedom of thought, freedom of spirit, freedom of action. In the darkest days of war, that symbolism meant everything. The reverse is equally powerful, a fasces, the ancient Roman bundle of rods with an axe blade symbolizing strength and unity. Alongside it, an olive branch for peace. What a message, strength to defend liberty, but the ultimate goal of peace. It's this fusion of beauty, power, and history that makes the Mercury dime one of the most collected coins in the United States. History. But not all Mercury dimes are created equal. And here's where the story gets fascinating. The 1943 S Mercury dime in very fine condition stands apart. Why? Because very few survive the ravages of circulation, melting, and time. While millions were struck, finding one today in this condition is like uncovering a buried relic of wartime America. Collectors know this well, condition is everything. A coin in very fine condition still holds sharp details. Liberty's cap wings are clear, the fasces lines are visible, and the olive branch has definition. And when the letter S mint mark sits proudly at the reverse bottom, you know you're holding something that only a handful of serious collectors can ever hope to own. Now here's where things get truly thrilling. In the modern auction market, this coin has skyrocketed in demand. And I'm not exaggerating when I say the value is so high it feels like a treasure chest in your pocket. The current market price of the 1943 S Mercury dime, in very fine condition, is sitting at a jaw-dropping $86,000. Yes, you heard that right, $86,000. That is not a dream, not a myth, not a story. It's the truth, backed by today's auction market. This is the kind of money that turns an ordinary coin into a life-changing discovery. Imagine owning something struck for just 10 cents, yet worth more than most people earn in an entire year. This is the kind of treasure hunters live for. And the market for this beauty, it is only going up. Collectors know that Mercury dimes, especially rare mint marks like 1943S, are not just collectibles, they are investments in history. Each year the competition gets fiercer, the prices climb higher, and those lucky enough to hold on to these coins are sitting on a fortune that appreciates like fine gold. For collectors, here's my advice. If you ever come across a Mercury dime from 1943 with the San Francisco Mint mark, do not let it slip through your fingers. Examine it carefully, preserve it, and know that you may be holding one of the most desirable treasures in the coin collecting world. This coin is not fiction, not fantasy, but pure fact. A very fine 1943 S Mercury dime is an American masterpiece, a wartime relic, and a financial fortune all in one. And remember, on Rare U.S. Coins Worth Secrets, we bring you the most trusted, faithful, and daily updated insights into the world of rare coins. If you think this coin was shocking, wait until you see the next one, because the values only get higher and the stories only get deeper. The journey into rare Mercury dimes now takes us into another unforgettable chapter of American coinage. Let us step back into 1941, a year forever marked by history. The world was on the brink of global war. America was still clinging to peace. And yet, within the United States Mint, coins of breathtaking artistry were being struck, each carrying silent whispers of freedom and strength. The 1941 Mercury dime without a mint mark is one such treasure. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not carry a mint mark, this coin represents the nation's heartland of production. At first glance, many might mistake it for just another Mercury dime, common, ordinary, blending in with millions. But look closer, and you will begin to see why this coin has captured the imagination of collectors around the world. On the obverse, Lady Liberty gazes forward with her winged Phrygian cap, a vision of freedom, swift thought, and unshakable will. This design, created by the legendary sculptor Adolphe A. Weinman, is regarded by many numismatists as one of the most beautiful coin designs in the United States. History. But on certain surviving pieces, particularly those that have endured time with unique patinas, something magical happens. This particular coin, the 1941 Mercury dime in very fine black shaded condition, has developed a tone that is not damage, it is character. Over decades, natural oxidation and storage have given it a dark, almost mysterious sheen, making it appear like an artifact preserved in the shadows of history. Collectors treasure such coins because each one tells a unique story. No two-toned coins look the same, and when combined with rarity, that uniqueness multiplies its desirability. The reverse continues the story. The Roman fasces and olive branch, a powerful combination of strength and peace. But when you see it with that dark hue, the design almost comes alive. The rods stand in solemn dignity, and the olive branch gleams faintly, like hope shining through dark times. Now let's talk about rarity. Millions of Mercury dimes were minted in 1941. True. But survival is the real story here. Think about it. How many were spent, melted down for their silver, or worn into oblivion during circulation? Very few survived in very fine condition with such striking character. That makes this piece not just rare, it makes it a treasured survivor, an elite gem among millions. And collectors know it. The demand for a 1941 Mercury dime without a mint mark in very fine condition has surged, especially when the coin carries that black-shaded, time-worn elegance. It's a piece that doesn't just say, "I'm rare." It declares itself as a one-of-a-kind survivor, impossible to duplicate. Now comes the moment you have been waiting for, the revelation of value. In today's heated auction market, where collectors battle fiercely for coins of true rarity and historical weight, the 1941 Mercury dime, without mint mark and very fine black-shaded condition, has reached an astounding current value of $95,000. Yes, $95,000. Let that sink in. This isn't a number pulled from fantasy. It is the truth of today's market. This coin, once worth just 10 cents, is now a massive treasure in the hands of collectors. The kind of treasure that can rewrite the meaning of wealth in the world of numismatics. And here's the truth, this value is not stagnant. It's climbing year after year, as collectors realize that fewer and fewer of these coins remain in such condition. The market has spoken, and it has made one thing absolutely clear. The 1941 Mercury dime without mint mark is not merely a collectible, it is a golden opportunity disguised in silver. For collectors watching this video, my advice is simple. Never underestimate coins from Philadelphia without mint marks. They may look ordinary to the untrained eye, but within those silent details lies enormous potential. If you ever encounter a 1941 Mercury dime with that unmistakable dark shade and clear detail, treat it as you would treat a hidden fortune, because that's exactly what it is. This coin proves once again that history, beauty, and rarity combine to create something far beyond money. It creates a treasure of enduring value, a masterpiece that connects you to the very heart of America's past. And remember, this isn't just storytelling. This is fact, this is reality, and this is what we uncover every day on Rare U.S. Coins Worth Secrets. A channel you can trust, a channel that updates you faithfully with the latest insights, the deepest truths, and the treasures that could be sitting quietly in your very own collection. If you thought this coin was breathtaking, stay tuned, because the next Mercury dime in our list carries a story even more electrifying, and its value will shock you beyond belief. Now we move deeper into the Mercury dime legacy, and the suspense only builds higher. We've seen treasures from San Francisco and Philadelphia, but now, let's travel to Denver, Colorado, home of the D-Mint mark, where another chapter in rare coin history was written. The year was 1943. The world was burning with the fires of World War II. Factories worked around the clock, soldiers prepared to storm battlefields across the globe, and the United States Mint in Denver quietly struck coins that would unknowingly become priceless artifacts of the era. Among them was the 1943 Mercury dime with the D-Mint mark. At first, it was just another coin, meant to circulate, to buy bread, to pay for train rides, to jingle in the pockets of Americans living through uncertain times. But history has a way of turning the ordinary into the extraordinary. Let us take a closer look at this masterpiece. On the obverse, once again we see Adolf A., Weinmann's iconic design of liberty in a winged Phrygian cap. To the casual eye, it is beautiful. To the trained eye, it is a symbol of America's spirit, swift, free, unstoppable. In this particular coin, time has left its mark in a way that is almost poetic. The black shading across the surface gives it a depth, a mystery, a soul. It looks less like a piece of money and more like a relic unearthed from the depths of history. The reverse tells its own story. The fasces standing tall, wrapped with rods of unity, and the olive branch of peace intertwined together, declaring strength through unity and peace as the ultimate goal. On this coin, darkened by its natural patina, the details shimmer faintly, as if whispering from the past. And there, just below, the D-Mint mark of Denver confirms its origin. But why is this coin so valuable? Why has it captured the hearts of collectors? The answer lies in its rarity, condition, and character. Millions of dimes were minted in 1943, yes, but only a tiny fraction survived the decades in collectible states. Even fewer retained a very fine condition where the details are still sharp, where the artistry is preserved, where history has not erased its lines. And among those few survivors, only some developed the black shaded patina that makes each piece unique. No two-toned Mercury dimes look the same. This turns a rare coin into a one-of-a-kind treasure. Collectors crave this uniqueness. It's not just about the silver content. It's about the story locked inside the coin. A black-shaded 1943 D Mercury dime, whispers of decades spent in quiet drawers, untouched vaults, or forgotten collections, waiting for the day when someone would finally recognize its true worth. And here's that worth revealed in today's marketplace. The 1943 Mercury dime with the Denver D-Mint mark, in black-shaded, very fine condition, currently commands a staggering $90,000 at auction. Yes, $90,000 for a dime. Not fiction, not exaggeration, but the absolute current market value for this treasure. Imagine the power of that. Holding in your hand a coin worth only 10 cents in 1943, but today valued as a fortune. That's not just money, that's a piece of America's story transformed into a living treasure chest. And don't think this value is going to stop here. The demand is climbing. Collectors are competing harder than ever. Investors are recognizing the growing worth of numismatic treasures. And coins like the 1943 D are being driven higher and higher into the stratosphere of value. What you see today at $90,000 may very soon become $100,000 or more. So here's my advice to every collector watching. Never dismiss a Mercury dime with the Denver Mint mark. They may seem ordinary at first, but the truth is that within Denver's coins lie some of the most valuable rarities in American history. And when you find one in the condition we've just described, especially with that mysterious black shading, you are not just holding silver, you are holding destiny. This coin proves again that these dimes are not relics of the past, they are living treasures, appreciated more each year, carrying the weight of history and the promise of fortune. And remember, my friends, what we reveal here on Rare U.S. Coins Worth Secrets is not fiction, not guesswork, but the faithful, trustful, up-to-date truth from the auction floors and collectors' markets. Stay tuned, because as rare and valuable as this coin is, the next treasure on our list will send your heart racing even faster. We now turn to another chapter in the legacy of Mercury Dimes, and with it, the suspense only deepens. This time, the journey takes us back again to the Philadelphia Mint, where coins were struck without a mint mark, and yet some of those pieces would later rise to become treasures of unimaginable worth. The year once again is 1943. America is at war. Factories roar with production, and the nation holds its breath as sons and daughters fight overseas. Coins change hands rapidly, used to buy rationed food, cigarettes, war bonds, and the very necessities of survival. In such times, coins were never meant to be preserved as collectibles. They were meant to be used, spent, and forgotten. But fate had other plans for some of them. Among the countless Mercury dimes struck in Philadelphia, a few have survived the decades in a way that transformed them into rare treasures. One of the most remarkable among them is the 1943 Mercury Dime without mint mark, in dark-shaded, dirty-look fine condition. Let's look closer. The obverse displays the iconic portrait of Lady Liberty in her winged Phrygian cap. Her gaze is firm, her message clear. Freedom of thought and spirit shall never be crushed. But here, time has written its story across the surface. The coin's dark shading and dirty patina are not flaws, they are history itself. Each mark, each shade is evidence of a life lived, of hands that passed it along, of decades spent in drawers, boxes, or collections. The reverse tells the same tale. The fasces of strength and the olive branch of peace, symbols that once spoke to a nation at war, now stand preserved beneath layers of time. And though the details have softened into what collectors call fine condition, they still remain clear enough to recognize the artistry of Adolphe A. Weinman's design? Why is this coin so rare? After all, Philadelphia struck millions of Mercury dimes. The answer lies in survival and condition. Of all the coins minted, only a tiny fraction escaped heavy circulation. Even fewer remain today with the kind of distinctive dark shade and dirty natural look that collectors so deeply value. Coins like this stand out because they are not just survivors, they are storytellers. Each coin like this is a unique chapter in history, preserved in metal and patina. Collectors crave this. They see beyond the dirt and shade. They see the uniqueness, the rarity, the life that has passed through this dime. For them, this coin is not ordinary. It is a one-of-a-kind relic, impossible to replicate. And now, let us reveal the truth that makes this coin one of the great treasures in the Mercury Dime series. In today's blazing auction market, the 1943 Mercury Dime, without mint mark, in fine, dark-shaded, dirty condition, has soared to an astonishing $89,500 in value. $89,500. Let that number sink in. This is no exaggeration, no fantasy, no empty claim. This is the real, current market value of this treasure today. For a dime once worth just 10 cents, it has become a fortune enough to change the very meaning of wealth in the world of numismatics. And here's the most powerful part. This value is still climbing. Each year, as fewer coins in collectible condition remain, as more collectors awaken to the true rarity of these pieces, the demand pushes higher and higher. A coin like this is not just valuable, it is an investment in history, one that grows more powerful with time. So to my collectors and treasure hunters watching this video, here's my advice. Never overlook a Mercury Dime from Philadelphia. Even without a mint mark, even with a dark and dirty look, you may be staring at something worth more than gold. Always check, always preserve, and always treat these coins as the treasures they are. This 1943 Philadelphia dime proves yet again that what some dismiss as just a coin may in truth be a rare masterpiece of history, a treasure chest in your palm, a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And remember, on Rare U.S. Coins Worth Secrets, we bring you the truth, faithfully updated every single day. You can trust us to reveal not myths, not guesses, but the real treasures and their real values in today's auction market. Stay with me, because As incredible as this $89,500 dime is, the next coin on our list carries even greater suspense and a value that will make your heart pound even harder. As our journey continues through the world of Mercury dimes, we arrive at a coin that represents both the final chapters of the Mercury Dime series and the enduring power of American history, preserved in silver. The year was 1944. The United States was deep in the fight of World War II. Allied forces were preparing for the invasion of Europe. Soldiers wrote letters home filled with hope, and every corner of the nation felt the weight of the times. In Denver, Colorado, the U.S. Mint struck Mercury dimes that were destined to carry the mark of this historic year. Among them, the 1944 Mercury dime with the D-Mint mark stands out like a silent relic of the wartime era. At first glance, this coin might seem like a simple 10-cent piece. But the truth is, it has become one of the most highly sought-after treasures for collectors today. On the obverse, we see once again Adolphe. Weinman's extraordinary design, Lady Liberty in her winged Phrygian cap, a symbol of freedom of thought, of movement, of spirit. But this coin is no ordinary survivor. Time has given it a dark gray shade, a patina that tells the story of 8 decades of existence. Every mark, every shade of gray is proof that this coin has lived through history, handled during the war, carried in pockets, exchanged in shops, and then somehow preserved from destruction. Turn to the reverse, and the fasces and olive branch still stand proudly. The rods bound together symbolize unity, while the olive branch reminds us that peace was always the ultimate goal, even in times of global conflict. And there, beneath the design, lies the powerful D-Mint mark of Denver, a stamp that transforms this dime into something collectors will forever cherish. Why does this coin carry such immense value? The answer lies in a powerful combination: rarity, condition, and story. Millions of 1944 dimes were struck, but most were melted down, worn into nothing, or lost to time. Very few remain in collectible condition, and fewer still survive with the dark gray shading that gives this piece such depth and uniqueness. For collectors, this isn't just silver, it is a one-of-a-kind chapter in history, impossible to replicate. Now comes the revelation that makes jaws drop. In today's fast-rising auction market, the 1944 Mercury dime with D-Mint mark in fine, dark gray shaded condition commands a breathtaking $80,000. $80,000. Let that settle in. A coin that once paid for bread or a newspaper is today valued as a treasure chest of fortune. This is no fiction, no rumor. This is the absolute current market value recognized in auctions today. And just as important, this is only the beginning. The value of this coin is climbing steadily, year after year. Collectors know it, investors recognize it, and the market responds accordingly. Holding a coin like this is not only holding history, it is holding an asset that grows more powerful with every passing day. For collectors watching right now, take this as a lesson. The Denver Mint produced some of the most extraordinary Mercury dimes, and when you encounter one like the 1944 D in this condition, with its rare dark shading, you are staring at something far beyond just a coin. You are staring at a piece of wartime America, a hidden fortune, and a living reminder of a time when every dime carried weight far beyond its face value. This coin proves again that Mercury dimes are not merely relics of the past. They are living, breathing treasures, works of art, historical documents, and financial powerhouses all wrapped into one. And remember, Rare U.S. Coins Worth Secrets is the one channel that brings you these truths, faithfully, trustfully, and with daily updates. We uncover the treasures others overlook, and we reveal the values that make collectors' hearts race. Stay tuned because while this $80,000 dime is extraordinary, the final coin in our countdown is about to take everything you've heard so far and raise the stakes even higher. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that has witnessed the end of the First World War, a coin that was struck more than a century ago, yet still shines today as one of the most valuable treasures in the world of rare coins. Yes, I am talking about the 1918 Mercury dime with the Denver Mint mark, the 1918 D. This is not an ordinary coin. It is a living testament to history, rarity, and unimaginable value. When you first look at this coin in its dark gray shade, it seems to carry the mystery of time itself. Despite its age, it has survived with a beautiful and attractive look in fine condition. That alone makes it exceptional. Most Mercury dimes from this period were spent endlessly in circulation, buying bread, paying wages, passing from hand to hand during the most critical years of American history. But this 1918-D has endured with dignity, preserving its story for us to admire. Now, let's step back for a moment and talk about its background. The Mercury Dime series was introduced in 1916, designed by Adolf A. Weinman. The obverse features the famous winged liberty head, often mistaken for the Roman god Mercury, symbolizing freedom of thought. The reverse showcases a fasces, a bundle of rods with an axe blade, wrapped in olive branches, symbolizing both strength and peace. Every Mercury dime tells a story of America's resilience, but the 1918-D tells it in a way that very few coins ever could. Why? Because of its mint mark. The tiny D beneath the olive branch on the reverse reveals that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint in 1918. Think about that. Denver, at the very heart of America, was producing dimes during a year when the world was recovering from one of the deadliest wars in human history. Every coin from that mint represents a piece of that recovery, a slice of life in the roaring 1910s, and a symbol of hope for a new beginning. Now let's talk about rarity. The 1918-D Mercury dime is among the scarcest coins in the series, particularly in well-preserved conditions. Many of these coins were lost, worn out, or melted down. To find one today in fine condition with its natural dark gray shade intact is nothing short of miraculous. Collectors across the world know this coin as one of those treasures that rarely surface, and when they do, the bidding wars at auctions are intense and electrifying. And then comes the part you have been waiting for: its market value. Brace yourself, because this is where the 1918-D proves itself to be not just a coin, but a life-changing treasure. Today, in fine condition, this extraordinary piece commands a jaw-dropping $119,000 in the auction market. That's not an exaggeration. That's the current verified value, and it's only climbing higher. Think about it. A dime, worth 10 cents in 1918, now worth over $100,000. That's not less than the hidden fortune, a real treasure chest compressed into a piece of silver the size of your fingertip. This is why collectors never underestimate Mercury dimes. The 1918-D proves that one coin can change everything. The value of this coin is not just monetary, it's symbolic. It's about owning a piece of American history that continues to rise in prestige and demand. And mark my words, the value of the 1918-D is increasing day by day. Wait for time and you will see it grow even more. Don't take this as fiction. This is the truth, backed by today's auction market. Now, if you are a collector or even someone who just stumbled upon old coins in your family's attic or safe box, here's the tip. Always check the mint marks, especially on Mercury dimes from 1918. The difference between a Philadelphia mint dime and a Denver mint dime can mean the difference between pocket change and a life-altering treasure. A coin like the 1918-D is a golden ticket, and if you're lucky enough to have one, protect it, grade it, and keep it safe, because its worth will only keep growing. To conclude, the 1918-D Mercury dime is not just another entry on our list, it is a crown jewel. It carries over 100 years of history. It showcases artistry that defined a generation, and it delivers a market value that can truly take your breath away. Imagine the thrill of discovering something like this in your own collection. That is the dream every collector chases. And sometimes dreams do come true. And before we wrap up today's video, let me remind you that this channel, Rare US Coins Worth Secrets, is your trusted and faithful source for daily updates on rare and valuable coins. We don't deal in rumors, we bring you the truth, the facts, and the treasures hidden in plain sight. So if you're excited by what you saw today, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to join our growing family of collectors and treasure hunters. Because who knows, the next coin we reveal might just be the one hiding in your collection, waiting to make you rich overnight. Stay tuned, stay curious, and remember, every coin tells a story, but some, like the 1918-D Mercury dime, tell a story worth a fortune. And there you have it, my friends. 6 of the most ultra-rare and unbelievably valuable Mercury dimes ever to exist. Each one of them is a story, a mystery, a fortune disguised in silver. From the war years of the 1940s to the century-old treasures of 1918, these coins prove one thing: hidden wealth is out there, waiting to be discovered. Ask yourself this: what if one of these dimes is sitting right now in your drawer, your safe box, or even mixed in with ordinary change? What if your family passed it down unknowingly, realizing the treasure they were holding? These are not just coins. These are life-changing treasures, capable of turning 10 cents into tens of thousands, even over $100,000. And remember, the market value of these rare coins isn't standing still. It's rising day by day, auction after auction. What we see today at $80,000, $90,000, even $119,000 could be worth far more tomorrow. That is not fiction. That is the truth, proven by the passionate demand of collectors across the world. This is why I created this channel, Rare U.S. Coins Worth Secrets, to bring you trustful, faithful, and freshly updated information about these treasures every single day. Because knowledge is power, and in the world of rare coins, knowledge can mean fortune. So if you want to stay ahead of the game, if you want to be the first to know about the next coin that could make you rich overnight, then do not leave without hitting that like button, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell. Join our family of treasure hunters and collectors, because the next rare coin we reveal might just be the treasure hiding in your pocket. Until next time, keep searching, keep dreaming, and remember, every coin tells a story, but the rare ones tell a story worth a fortune.